Alright, so I started the last video talking about how I want to talk about human nature. And I didn't do that. And that's how I make videos. You know that by now. I just start talking and I mention something that I completely forget and I get carried away like I am already with my intro, talking about things I don't want to talk about. But, you know, it happens and I hope it's interesting. But that doesn't mean I don't have the ability to make a new video and talk about the subject I wanted to talk about in the first place and do it right this time. Alright, so what I wanted to address is human nature. Now, I talked about human nature in general a lot in the past, but I have this idea about that people have their own specific human nature that on the level I want to talk about is divisible into two ways. Meaning there are two kinds of people in this world. There are those that are inherently comfortable with themselves, with the situation, and there are those that are inherently uncomfortable with themselves or the situation. This leads to people thinking they're the same, but looking at the world in a completely different way and struggling with completely different things. You could say that the one who is inherently comfortable has a lack of propulsion within him. That propulsion doesn't bother him, and so he's comfortable. That means he's very relaxed. He's very comfortable with the situation. He's very much at ease. And it's something other people lack. So maybe they're going to talk to him and ask him, how do you do this? How do you get so comfortable? Right? On the other hand, there are people that are inherently uncomfortable. They're either striving for glory they think they deserve but don't have, or they're afraid they get into trouble and they don't want to. So there's this fear of missing the person they think they ought to be, missing the adulation they think they are entitled to, or just plain old fear of getting into trouble or dying. Who knows, right? So they have this propulsion within them that is constantly itching, saying, you need to do something. Because right now, right here, it's not good enough. You need to be somebody else than who you are. That gets to be uncomfortable. And this discomfort drives them. They are people who have a lot of output. They tend to do a lot of stuff. They tend to do a lot of things. They tend to be successful in careers. They tend to work hard. They tend to, you know, never give up chasing something. And in that result, and in that way, they have a lot of output. Now these two people, those are two types of people, they both have something the other does not and perhaps desires, and they both have something they like. And it could be that it's mutually exclusive, meaning the person who's comfortable has comfort but less output. And to be clear before I continue, this is a generalization. I'm not saying this is black and white. I'm not saying there could be no output for someone who's comfortable. I'm just saying that necessity is what drives us. And however high you put the bar for necessity, that's how driven you are. And it's very difficult for someone who's very comfortable to keep going. Now, I think if you become a master at being a human, or you master a certain subject, and you get to play with it, then this whole thing changes, because necessity becomes joy, and joy, it's a different beast altogether. But let's just say that most people in the world as we know it today, and how people get educated and how the culture influences them, most people are caught in the necessity situation. There are very few masters among us, I think. Anyway, so the one who is comfortable. That's good. It's enjoyable. He is enjoying himself. It also makes him reactive, meaning he doesn't need to do anything because it's comfortable as it is. What needs to be done is when that comfort gets disrupted. His boss coming in said, hey, you need to do this and that for me. Alright, well, let me get to it and let me fix it so I can get back to the place where I'm comfortable and I don't need to do anything. Then there are those that are inherently discomfortable. They are proactive. They need to do stuff, even if they're not asked, because it's not right. The situation as it is right now is not right. So there's two types of people, two types of human nature within us. both might look to the other and say, I want to be able to do what he's doing. I want to be able to relax because I feel constant discomfort. Or I wish I could have this huge drive and output and keep going. I think it's not possible to have both. You can't have your cake and eat it too, as long as you're being driven by necessity. It's different when you're playful, joyful, mastery. But when you're in the world of necessity, ego-bound, thinking there's stuff that needs to be done, thinking that you need to be something, or thinking that everything is okay because you're just enjoying yourself, if that's the situation, then you can't have both. And there will be those who feel pretty relaxed but have this itch that they need to be more but don't know how. And there are those that are just freaking pumping out all kinds of stuff and never feeling satisfied or happy. They might have some sort of rush when they reach a goal or they get selected or whatever happens, but in the end, they will never be satisfied. Now, the people that are comfortable but somewhat feel an itch, they read the books, listen to the YouTubes and the podcasts of the people that have this constant discomfort and chasing the never-ending dream. The people that are chasing this never-ending dream, regardless of the amount of success they have, because we listen to the people that are successful, but there's 1,000 more of them that are not that successful or not that well known. They are listening to the people that talk about how you should meditate, how you should live a mindful life, how spirituality works, how you shouldn't worry about stuff all the time. Right? They're constantly trying to change who they are. I would even go as far to say that not only is human the only animal who desires to be something he's not, it is the essence of this being. The essence of this being is that whatever it is, whatever he has gotten from his nature, from his culture, from the way he was raised, whatever he has, he wants something else. The one who feels comfort wants to have success and passion and be driven. The one who is driven and has passion, he wants comfort and stillness and relaxedness. That is the challenge for us beings. That's what we do, that's how we work. Now, how you are determines what your problem is, because it's the contrast of what you are. And you're going to spend your whole life chasing the contrast of what you are if you're not careful. I know this because I've done it. And what circle I have made is that I came back to being the person with a lot of energy, a lot of propulsion, and the constant interaction with discomfort. Now, this whole trajectory I've had wasn't for nothing. I've come to a place where I enjoy myself, where I enjoy the friction, where I laugh about the discomfort that I seek and feel and always chase. I am a masochist and I like it. But the problem is that people don't realize this. And they spend a lot of time wasting a lot of time fighting who they are, to be the thing they are not. And my advice to you is that you are best served to align with what you are. And if you are something you're not right now, but think you could be, then you will be that. But not by fighting. It is a truth that we are all trying to find peace by going to war. We're trying to force the thing that doesn't come natural. But we're trying to force that it will come natural. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? If you are forcing yourself to relax, that's not how it works. You only relax by relaxing, which means aligning and accepting. So try to figure out for yourself what comes naturally to you, because that's something you should probably do more of. And you should wonder why it is that you want the opposite of what comes natural to. Who tells you? What tells you that that is what should be desirable? And I want to make special mention when it comes to spirituality, because I think spirituality is extra disturbing in the sense that, and I don't even know what I mean with spirituality. I think I mean something like this mindfulness, or this thing where we're all seeking something that cannot be found, which is really the opposite of what we are. Now, if you're trying to do this by having a career or creating a lot of output, right? If you're trying to get some sort of recognition and you're working hard and you're outputting all kinds of stuff to get that recognition, at least you're doing something. At least you're engaging with something. The thing is, once you just go inside and battle yourself, you're not going to get anywhere and you're not going to have anything to show for it when you're done. And here comes the caveat, because you'll only have something to show for it once you are done, and the only thing you will have to show for it is who you really are. And that's somewhat of the path I've taken. It's taken me 20 to 30 years. And I have nothing to show for it except that I am now aligned with what comes natural. And it goes both for the external and it goes for the internal. And that is valuable. It's something I needed. I was lacking. Really, it wasn't something I was lacking. It was something I had too much that I needed to get rid of. And so I can see the value for that, for anyone. But I think you need to get clear on what it is you're trying to achieve. And I think most people are trying to achieve the opposite of what is possible. And that can occupy yourself for a long time and make you very sad and miserable and not leave anything to show for it, not result in anything to show for it. So be critical, very critical, of what you want and why you want it and how you go about getting it. If you have questions about it, I would love to talk to you about it. So feel free to message me or whatever, how that works, and I'll see what we can work out. But you have a nature of your own, right? I think humans are friction drawn regardless of what they do. It's the mechanism. But what is friction is a personal thing, where I do believe there's big patterns, and there's a big one that I just tried to explain, which comes to comfort versus discomfort, or reactive versus proactive, which culture has an opinion on, because the ones that are driven by fear produce the most value. Since the culture emphasizes that, we're all looking to the relaxed people and saying, I wish we could be that, which we can't, not just like that. And you need to decide for yourself where you are, where you want to go, and how you're going to go about doing that. Because I think this is a big one. And I'm going to come back to that in future videos, hopefully. But this was my insight. I really wanted to talk about in the previous video when I said I was back, because it's what made me come back to this. Because I have this thing within me that likes to talk, that likes to share, that enjoys this thing. It used to be that I had to do it out of necessity, out of a way of validating myself. And now it's different, and I enjoy that. But it took a long time, and I want to save you the trouble. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, do whatever you like, and I'll talk to you next time. Good luck.